Man, what's going on, everybody? Fragged out, swagged out, and you already know why I'm here. We're gonna talk about some fragrance today. And the fragrance I'm gonna talk to you about today wasn't even on my hit list to do a full review on for a couple of reasons. One is that you can't even order it online. That's gonna be a deal breaker for a lot of people, I would say. The second, even to get it in store, you have to go to the flagship store over in Doha or the one in Paris. I went to Paris, so I got mine there. But it is very limited, and for those reasons, I felt like I'm gonna talk about a fragrance that you're really not gonna see too often. I don't think there's a big appetite for it. Turns out there's a really big appetite. People want to know about it. I know this because I get DM'd about it. So for that reason, let's get into it. This is one of my favorite. It's really high up there, and especially with my Ex Nihilo fragrance, probably like one or two. This one is gonna be Sun Emperors. So here's your bottle. Cat there, a little unique compared to the other ones. I always say that Ex Nihilo's print is super small. I can barely see it, and it's not just this one. I have one right next to it, and yeah, that print, like, it's so finely inscribed that you really have to dig in there. But this is another one of my favorite, the Irreverent, but we're talking about this guy right here, Sun Emperor. So this is a Doha exclusive, but if you go to the Paris store, you can get it there as well. And that's the first flagship store, so I think that's where they have access to everything. And let me just throw this on to get a little familiar with it. So, does it fall into what I love in fragrance? Absolutely. It's kind of woody, earthy, spicy, with some tones of sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. I think the sweetness is there to kind of uplift the rest of what could be a very woody, spicy fragrance. Now, if you go online now, like I said, you're not going to find notes, and unfortunately, the box I bought that had the note card has been long gone. What I do know is that the fragrance does contain some vanilla, some saffron, some tobacco, some patchouli, and some additional spices in there, but that's the main concept of the fragrance. It's going to be spicy, woody, sweet. It does that in a way that, although when you explain it that way, you can probably say there's 500 other fragrances that already do that, and you're probably right. But in this way, it's crazy. First of all, the projection is massive. The longevity on this fragrance is forever. No matter what somebody else has on while you're wearing this is what people smell, and it smells amazing. It's rich, very luxurious smell here. The tobacco here, it is earthy, but it's spicy. It's very full. I love, if you're a tobacco lover, you're gonna love the way the tobacco reacts here, especially with that saffron that adds additional spicy sweetness to it. The vanilla really tones down a lot of the harsher or kind of darker, heavier tones. And the patchouli, so the patchouli lovers, you're gonna enjoy this. It's not the really heavy, dark patchouli. There's something in here that actually makes it a little powdery, at least at the overall composition. So even the woodier notes, or the patchouli, or the tobacco, if you're kind of apprehensive about those, are kind of toned down, and the vanilla really shines because of that. All that said, this is an amazing fragrance that I wish people could just easily go to a store and check out, so that you know what I'm talking about. But if you are in Doha, or if you are in Paris, go to the flagship store, Ex Nihilo, and at least ask for a sample, because this is absolutely worth having in collection, especially if you are, once again, tobacco lover, saffron lover, or patchouli. They do all those three very well. If you are a fan of vanillas, vanilla is not hardly the star here. What it does is it makes all those other notes nice and smooth as you're smelling them, and while it's in the air, you get those nice sweet touches that really make all those other notes that I love so much that much better. And I am a vanilla lover. It's a great addition to everything here, but if you want vanilla front and center, that's not what we're doing here. We're doing spice, we're doing woody, we're doing what comes off as a Middle Eastern inspired fragrance, but it's so much more than that. It's not every single other fragrance that you smell. So again, no breakdown, might sound similar. Description might sound similar. That's why I say try it And the reality is that you're not in a position to blind buy it online, because you have to buy it in store anyway, which is great for the consumer, because you don't want to get caught up in what other people say. I love it doesn't mean you're going to love it, but I'm telling you, I love it. So if you've watched any of my other reviews and you know what I really dig in fragrance, then trust me, I love this one. So you should know in what realm of fragrance it is, and it's that sexy, grown and sexy, very luxurious. It smells like money. When you smell this, you know this is not discounter stuff. This is not cheap stuff. This is very, very beautiful fragrance. And I can only talk about how good it is for so long, because listen, if I stood here talking about everything I want to say about it, we'd be here for a while. I don't want to be too descriptive. We get straight to the point. Is it good? Yes. Is there longevity? Through the roof, and projection is nuclear. Like, if you really love one of those crazy performing fragrances, they don't always have to be, but this does it, and it does it in the best way possible. Check out Sun Emperors by Ex Nihilo if you're ever in town. Again, Doha or Paris, flagship stores, and they'll hook you up. Find out, and if you do get your nose on it, come back and let me know how accurate this description was. I know everybody's a critic. I'm one of them. So let us know what you think when you finally get your nose on it. That's all I have for y'all. Fragged out. We out.